And Paul Ainsworth will be putting a Cornish spin on a Greek classic. But don't go anywhere, because after the break, I'll be treating Kimberley Walsh to a delicious sea bass dish. I'll see you in a bit. Welcome back. Now, coming up, I'm off to Burgundy on another one of my favourite food adventures, and I'll be showing you how to prepare a rack of lamb in this week's Little Masterclass. But first, I'm here with a Girls Aloud star who's danced away to the Strictly finals and sang away all the way to the West End stage. It's the brilliant Miss Kimberley Walsh. Wonderful to have you on the show.
I'm so excited to be here.
You are?
I really genuinely am. I love food. I'd never ever say no to a cooking programme. I'm always there.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna do this wonderful little bit of fish. We've got some fish, we've got some lovely asparagus, little hollandaise sauce. But I want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Little bump there.
Number 3 is cooking nicely in there.
Right. Number 3 this
Number
one.
3.
All right.
I'm done after this.
You're done now.
Yeah.
You're saying that.
I'm pretty sure I'm done.
3's a good number, right?
3 is a magic number, I
So
think.
we're going to do this wonderful bit of fish. This is a lovely bit of sea bass over here. And we're going to simply cook it. The way you want to cook sea bass really is nice and simple. So either pan fry it or pop it in the oven. You can grill it, which is fine. I'm going to pop it in the oven behind me because we're outside.
Nice.
And so normal electric oven, if you've got a normal oven, gas oven, about 200 degrees, something like that. It's going to take about 5 minutes. In this, because this is so hot, it's probably going to take about 3 or 4 minutes, this one. But we're just going to simply cook it on a nice little pan like this with a little bit of butter, some salt and pepper. And then this is just going to go in the oven for not very long whatsoever as well. That's going to go in there. All right.
A little bit of butter, of course.
Now, Now, when we get these guests on the show as well, you get this fascinating history of about yourself. Now, we know Girls Aloud and how that all started, but what I want to do is take you right back because, you know, but acting and theatre has always been an influence in your life, but it stems from a very early age.
Really young, yeah. I started stage school with my older sister Sally at age 4 or 5, I think. Right. And quite quickly we both started going for auditions and doing little TV parts, and then she did loads of amazing things and I did a little bit of acting, and I think quite quickly realised that my first love was definitely singing.
Because didn't you get quite close to Corrie once?
I did, yeah, that's a true story.
Final 2 or 3?
Yeah, final 3 for the part of Maria in Coronation Street. It was me, obviously Samia, who plays Maria, and Suzanne Shaw, and we all screen tested. Obviously, like loads of auditions, didn't get the part.
Yeah.
And I'd been doing it for such a long time. I think I was so used to it. To me, it was just like another audition that didn't quite work out. But then really soon after that was the Pop Stars audition that obviously did change my life. So I feel like that was meant to be for me. It's
quite interesting. You've got 2 sort of equal parallel careers that sort of failure becomes accepted, if that makes sense, does it?
It has to be. It has to be that way.
You can't take it to heart, I suppose.
You really can't, and I think probably doing it from so young, you just get so hardened to it. Like, to get those calls when you're like 6, 7, it's quite hard. But after a few years of having that call, you didn't get it. You do get pretty immune, and then the times when you do get the part are even more amazing.
But you happened to theatre. I mean, you did get the parts in theatre when you were young.
Yeah.
Early teens.
Yeah. So I did Evita when it came to Bradford when I was probably like 10 maybe, and then I was the young Cosette in the Manchester Les Miserables, and I think I was about 12, and that was where I really got the proper bug for musical theatre, like. The smell of the theatre, yeah, just everything about it. It was like I'd just been transported to this magical world that I didn't know existed, and I just knew that was what I wanted to do.
So tell me about the lockdown then, and your kids, because that, I mean, because whenever you speak to mums, they just go, thank goodness they're going back.
No, I adore my kids. I have 2 amazing boys that are full of character, full of spirit, and bring me so much joy. However, being their teacher, not quite the same. I actually was really lucky as well. I only had to homeschool Bobby, my oldest, because my youngest, Cole, he's only 4. But I just can't explain to you how hard it is. I've got so much admiration for teachers, and my mum was a school teacher like my whole life.
Yeah.
And literally every day I was like, oh, Mum, help me. Like, how did you do this?
Because it's quite interesting when you go through this, you go through stages. I mean, I find it in the first lockdown, you go through stages, right, I've got a list of jobs to do, stuff around the house.
Yeah.
Decorating.
I did loads of that, yeah.
Plumbing.
Yeah.
You know, had a little go electrical sort of stuff.
Nice.
Kind of worked, didn't blow anything up, or myself.
Yeah.
But you're trying that sort of stuff. And then you start, then lockdown 2 happens.
Lockdown 2 was very different to lockdown 1, wasn't it? I was exactly the same as you.
See, we're going to be talking about this in 10 years' time, going, do you what did you do? It's weird, isn't it?
Lockdown 1, I was like positive, getting up, working out with the kids, doing my Joe Wicks every morning, cooking every day, like planning what meals I was going to cook because I never usually have time to do that. Cocktails at 3 in the afternoon, like it was all great. And then this lockdown has been
It's been the toughest, hasn't it?
story.
It's been the toughest.
It has been.
I think that's because of the weather. I mean, the weather's brightened up because you're here, but the weather has been
And also, like, because the kids went back to school for a little time, and then to come back home and start again, it was just like, oh, I don't know, it didn't really work. I don't think Bobby really loved me as a teacher, unfortunately.
But doing what you've been doing and have the success of what you've been doing in the band. How do you feel about that? Is it something that you crave, long to do again? Is it particularly the theatre? You come back to the theatre.
Yeah.
Is that something that you want to do as a career? Because
Yeah, I think that's kind of where my heart lies now in the theatre.
Like that balance now must be quite difficult. You've got a little one on the way.
Yeah.
The kids are quite young. To take yourself away from that in a theatre, which takes a lot of time. Not just the rehearsing, but you've got an awful lot of time in terms of being success, either on the road or whatever it is.
It is hard. It is hard. I think that's why I didn't have kids when I was in the band, because I knew that I couldn't really be a proper mum and be in Girls Aloud. Like, it's not possible. Like, you work such crazy hours.
Is it what you thought it would be? Because when you ask anybody that wants to be in a band and stuff like that, they want to be that successful. But then when you get to that success, and the success that you had, bang, and all it was global stuff all over the world. Is it what you look back and you think, yeah, I enjoyed it, or it's not what I thought it was? Because
I think it's all about your character, and how you kind of approach it. And I think, because I was actually one of the older girls in the group, but I was just kind of embraced it. I think I'd already, as you said, been doing TV and shows and stuff from such a young age. Maybe I was a little bit more prepared for it than some of the girls. But it's still a crazy existence. Like, it's mad, but I just think I embraced it for the time that we had. And then when it kind of came to a natural end, then obviously I decided to start a family. But I did obviously miss singing and performing, hence why I've kind of carried on doing that since. Yeah. And it is hard to work around the kids, but I've not really done any shows when they've been like tiny babies. So I always do kind of shortish runs, like 3 or 4 months, and they can come and be part of it and be in the theatre. And
but you've got great stability in your life as well. Your partner, 18 years you've been together.
Yeah, 18 years.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I feel like we were both kind of have grown up together, and then I think once you have kids as well, then it just like solidifies everything even more. Like, as much as it obviously can put a little bit of strain on you at times. Yeah. Overall, you feel like you've got a proper little family then.
Well, this is a recipe for your repertoire, you see. So I've got the asparagus. Yeah. It's cooked. The fish is cooked. Hollandaise sauce. A bit of clarified butter. You can see this clarified butter over here.
Yeah.
You just keep adding this onto... So the egg yolks I've cooked over hot water, bain-marie.
It's easy to do this wrong, because I think I would be a little bit... nervous of trying to do this.
Everybody panics over this.
I don't know why. It's like mayonnaise. I've tried a few times, and like one time I'll make it, it'll be perfect, and then the other time it'll split, and then I think, oh, I've failed.
There you have your nice little bit of hollandaise.
Looking good.
And then just to simply serve this, we got the asparagus. No need to blanch the asparagus.
I like it charred like that. No, definitely.
Char-grilled asparagus.
The way, isn't it?
Char-grilled asparagus, absolutely delicious.
Very impressed that you've done all that while I've been talking your ear off. Like, they say that men can't do 2 things at once. You've just cooked a whole meal while you've been interviewing.
I've not been listening to you. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm going to quiz you after this.
Exactly. No, I am. But
looks lovely.
And then you've got this lovely bit of fish. So I'll just put this in a little bit of butter over the top, like that. Nice and simple. This lovely bit of sea bass.
Lovely.
And you can put that on there.
Sea bass is one of my favourite fishes, for sure.
Is it? I'll put a bit more on then, because you've got to feed for 2 now, haven't I? Should I put a bit more on?
Yeah, I mean...
Is that all right?
Get in there, yeah. Looks
happy
lovely.
with that? Right. And then you've got your nice little simple sauce that, if you want to change the texture of it, add a little bit more liquid.
Okay.
Don't forget, you've got a little bit of black pepper. No need for any salt.
No.
And you just pop a nice little dollop of this over the top.
That looks good. Really good.
So there you have it. Roasted sea bass, hollandaise sauce, and fresh, in-season asparagus. Done.
Lovely.
There you have it. Your
Thank
first
you.
dish of the day.
I'm very excited.
Tell me what you think of that one.
I mean, I do feel a bit bad just sitting here eating it, but sorry, guys. It's part of the job.
Well, everybody's turned into chefs, don't they? Whatever lockdown we're in now, it was baking the first lockdown, and now everybody's decided to be a chef.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're all trying, James, but,
No,
you know,
no,
I'm not sure if we're succeeding.
Tell me what you think of that one.
So good. And actually, because the fish is cooked in there, it is even better, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't really get that from a pan, can you? But
Yeah. Well, my back's the same sort of smell as what that fish is, to be honest with you, because it's charring at the back. But
Yeah,
it's
nice.
so hot in that. And a conventional oven, make sure the oven's really, really hot to cook that. But you want 5-6 minutes, something like that.
I mean, I could literally eat this whole thing. How have we got a break or anything
Yeah,
to
we've
go?
got a break. You carry on later. We'll chat to you a little bit more later as well. And I'll be cooking lemon sole for Kimberley in a bit. And I'll be taking... Welcome back. Now, I knew this morning it would be a good show as well. Welcome back to the last part of the show. I'm outside with my guest, the one and only Kimberley Walsh, is still here.
Yes.
And right on cue, the sun comes out. Look at that.
Literally.
It's like
Beautiful.
a halo.
Yeah, it's lovely.
A green halo as well.
Glow.
Exactly, yeah. So my final dish, I'm going to do you a lovely bit of sole. We're going to do a wonderful little dish with sole, fried black beans, barbecue. It's quite a tricky dish to do on a barbecue, this, where you've got steaming, you've got a bit of sauce to go with it. We've got some barbecued broccoli over here. But I'm going to get onto the sauce in a minute. But we've got in this wonderful sort of sole, which is bang in season at the moment. This sole usually comes in this sort of form.
Okay.
You get a dark skin and a white skin. This is the top of the fish. This is the bottom of the fish.
Right.
So it would sit there like that, usually with the head on and fins. All right.
I like to see it with all the hard work done.
Yeah, well, it's all done for you. So that's how you roughly buy it. Now, to turn this into something fancy, what you want to do is just take these little fins off, really. Right. So just remove these. You can eat these, but just in terms of presentation, just remove these. Now, to skin this, I know you're a bit of a confident cook, you see.
Yeah, but this is not where I excel.
This is easily done. What you do is you hold the skin, hold the knife flat, and wiggle.
Okay.
Wiggle the knife.
Because the skin's stronger than it looks, isn't it? But it's still, you need a really sharp knife.
Nice sharp knife. And then when you roll it all up, like that, we can start off here. You end up with this nice little piece of fish. Little parcel of fish, like that. Now, we mentioned at the beginning of the show this morning about your love of musicals.
Yeah.
You're actually, I believe this could be a Guinness Book of Records. You're the only musical that was allowed in COVID land to still exist and finish the run.
Yeah, I think we were possibly the only fully staged musical to be on during that period of time. Like, possibly actually anywhere in the world. It was a crazy time.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
So just as we got locked down, we were basically gearing up to open. So we'd just done like our Sitzbro with the orchestra, and we were starting our tech rehearsals, and then it was like, actually, go home for the foreseeable future. And I think we all thought it'd be a couple of weeks, and then obviously we all know what happened next.
But you managed to get a 6-week run-in as well.
But we did. We got a 6-week run-in, August, sort of September time.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think our producers were just so passionate about the show and about theatre and just trying to work with COVID and, you know, make it happen, that they basically brought in a testing facility. So every single person got tested every single day.
Right.
Which is kind of crazy, but it was nice because we all felt so safe for that whole period of time, because everybody around us had been fully tested and we all got our little bands, and then we could go on and do the show as normal.
So this is, I'm just going to recap what we've got here. We've just got our last bit of fish, and this is just going to go in our steamer, because I've just got the lid on here. We're going to cook this for about 3 or 4 minutes. Yeah. So it was called Sleepless. It
was called Sleepless, based on the Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan movie, Sleepless in Seattle.
Right.
So it's kind of a socially distanced movie anyway, so it does really work for the stage, because my character Annie and Sam, who was played by Jay McGuinness, we don't actually meet or come into any physical contact until the very, very end of the show.
Yeah.
So I think just for people watching it, it made them feel better that we didn't get too close to each other, even though we were all fully tested and it was actually completely fine. I think just it was such a strange time for everybody to watch a show.
And we talked about your love of theatre when you were a young kid and you were performing at the age of touring when you were sort of 12 years old. Then to have this sort of music career that you have, is there more pressure on you because people now know who you are, if that makes sense? Is they're looking at, right, singing, let's...
I feel it, definitely.
There must be a bit more pressure on you.
No, there is. There's, I think, 100% you feel that. I really, really felt it in Shrek. I played Princess Fiona in Shrek, and obviously that was the first musical I'd done as an adult. But even now I think I just put that pressure on myself, if you know what I mean, because any other, I guess, if you're not known, then you're just watching the show and you don't think too much about who you're watching, but you know that they're watching you, so you are aware of it. But that was actually what was really nice about working with Jay on Big the Musical and Sleepless, because I felt like, because we were both kind of known, we shared that burden a little bit.
Well, you can tell you're good at this, and you can tell you've been doing it for a long time, because we've got a little sneaky clip of it. So have a look at this.
Twists and turns, just traveling straighter than an arrow. I thought real love wouldn't happen to me. Turns out real love doesn't seem to agree. It's out of my head, I'm out of my head. I'm letting old Cupid take the reins instead. Now I'm freewheeling, I'm feeling alive. It's out of my hands, the dice in the air. I'm taking a big spoon of devil may care. And even if nobody understands, it's out of my hands.
You've got a voice for theatre.
I do love it. I love musical theatre. It is where my voice naturally kind of sits, and it's just, honestly, it brings you so much joy to be in a show, but also like seeing the reaction of the audiences when they finally got to come and sit in an auditorium again and hear a live orchestra.
But you say that, Kimberley, because honestly, I mean, I can do this, and millions of people can watch this, and I'm quite chilled out. But the thought of theatre, I did it once. I did the nativity play when I was a young kid.
Did you?
Played one of, I can't remember what it was. Wasn't one of the three kings.
Yeah.
And I was so rubbish at just walking along that I got depromoted or promoted onto lighting. There was one switch, and I never went on stage again since then. You're
scarred then from that experience.
Yeah, but you either got it or you haven't. But that stems from when you were a young kid, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I think literally I love it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do get really nervous. I mean, you've done Strictly as well. That's scary, though. That's one of the scariest things.
Yeah, well, that is pretty scary. Yeah, I have to say that's pretty scary. Yeah.
It's the millions of people that scares me, which is what's kind of more scary about TV. Whereas live theatre, it happens in that moment. Yeah. People are in it with you, and then it just goes. You don't need to kind of obsess too much about what happened out there. Just go out there and enjoy it.
Just let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. Right, we're just gonna do our little sauce over here with our black beans. What I've got in here is I've got different types of black beans. We've got this wonderful lady called, I mentioned her on before on the show, Sam Heads, home economist. She does all the hard work, to be honest with you. I do nothing. But she's managed to get up at 4 a.m. and put all these little beans in bowls for me nicely to explain to you at home what is a fermented bean. So we start off with the black beans over here.
Yeah.
This is in its natural sort of form. Then what you need to do is soak them for 24 hours.
Okay.
Then soak them and then cook them. They usually take about sort of an hour to cook, something like that, an hour and 10 minutes. Then once they're cooked, you then salt them. So these have been salted.
Loads of salt in there.
Just a handful of sea salt, really what they want. And then these are the ones that we've got ready to use. And what we want to do is make a little sauce with these. So I've got the broccoli that's been cooked, and then we take our sort of beans sort of refry these. A little bit of veg oil in here.
Nice.
They're going to go in. I've got some ginger and I've got some garlic. So what I do with this, instead of chop them, use one of these little graters. So much easier.
Okay.
You can buy the ginger and the garlic paste in tubes now as well.
Yeah, that's good because they always go together, don't they?
See, that goes together, but cheese in a tube, that's not good.
No, cheese in a tube.
I spent my teenage years as a young chef squeezing cheese in tubes on spit celery for weddings. It put me off for the rest of my life.
No.
Right, so we've got to fry this off in here. And this creates our wonderful sort of refried black bean sort of mixture over here. So you get that nice little flavour.
Lovely.
Now, the other flavourings in we've got in here, as touch of this is quite essential. This is a little bit of rice wine, Shaoxing wine.
Yeah.
It's like a fermented wine, rice wine. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Bit of soy, touch of soy sauce in there as well. We start to bring this all together into a nice little sauce. So think of this as your salt and pepper, the soy,
It's a salty bit.
and the sesame.
Sesame oil, is
sesame
it?
oil,
Yeah.
but we don't cook with this. It goes in at the end. Common mistake in this: you fry stuff with it.
Ah, okay.
Sesame oil burns.
That's good to know.
Don't.
I do sometimes fry my broccoli in a bit of sesame oil. I won't do that
don't do it in
anymore.
sesame oil, and you get this really burnt tinge with it.
Okay, so you don't get the proper flavour of the oil.
No,
that
sesame
way.
oil should be added at the end. If it starts
to
to
know.
dry out and a walk, add a little bit of water, or fry it in a little bit of veg oil or groundnut oil,
Okay.
grape oil, something like that.
Yeah.
But never ever sesame oil. It burns.
That's such a good tip.
Burns like crazy. And then what you want to do is just cook this nicely, and then we're going to take our broccoli, and this goes in here. So before we leave the end of the show,
Yes.
what's next for you then? Because obviously, you know,
Yeah.
June.
Yeah, June, baby.
June.
So yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of time, obviously, with the baby, and it'll be school holidays, which will be quite nice. So we'll be able to get like that time as a family to work out how that all works,
Yeah.
the dynamics.
Because I
mean,
suppose doing something like a theatre and going
Yeah.
into that, it's a big commitment for you as well, and it's
It
usually
is.
a long-term commitment.
It is, and generally when there's tiny babies, I hate being away from them and missing, like putting them to bed and stuff. I'm such a softie, so I don't know. I always hope that something that's a really short run will come along, so I can just dip in and out of it a little bit.
Right.
But I just kind of do things that I love, and usually things come along, so I don't stress too much. I love that I still get to do what I love, but
Yeah.
I also love being a mum, so that is, I guess, a full-time job in itself.
Best of luck doing whatever you're doing as well.
Thank you. Thanks
Good
for
luck for
having
June
me.
as well.
Thank
and it's
you.
been nice cooking for you
Yeah,
as well.
thank you so
we've
much.
got in here, we're just going to finish off this broccoli now. This has just been cooked. We got a little bit of
Smells really good.
really simple. We just got some nice little bit of coriander in right at the last minute. Just pop that in there to cook nicely as well.
Yeah.
And then this can sit on the plate, and you've got the refried beans with your broccoli.
Nice.
Lovely. Just on that on there. And then you've got your nice little fish. The director wants to know if we've got any fancy names for this.
What are they actually
It's called
called?
a pupiette.
A pupier.
Pupiette.
Pupier. In our Yorkshire accent, it wouldn't work, would
It's a
it?
Swiss roll of fish. It's a Swiss roll of fish.
Definitely have to put an accent on to say
That's
that
what they
one.
are. But you then lift these out, you see. You've got these little
It looks
puppiettes.
very impressive.
It's just a nice way to cook a piece of fish that keeps the moisture in. Very, very classically French. When I was training as a
Yeah.
young kid, while you were performing on stage, you see, I was
were
doing
doing that.
puppiettes.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Wasn't eating them, I was preparing them. But while you were singing and dancing on stage. But that's nice and simple.
Wow, that
And then we
looks
got the spring
amazing.
onions, just get put over the top. Like that.
Nice.
And then we have it. And if you want to be a little bit, like I was saying, with the sesame oil, right at the last minute, use this as a nice little bit
A
of
little drizzle.
seasoning over the top. And there you have it. Steamed puppiettes with a nice bit of refried black bean
Gorgeous.
and broccoli. Done.
This looks good.
There you have it.
Thank you very much.
Another dish for you. There
Lovely.
you go.
Feel spoiled.
Well, tell me what you think of that one.
Honestly,
So,
been
I
missing.
know, because the great thing about it, you absolutely demolished the last one.
I know. I hope
gone.
I've saved a little bit of
It's
room.
gone.
I'm definitely
It's gone.
tasting it, regardless of how full I am.
Tell me what you think of that. Happy
So
with that?
nice and so fresh. Like you can taste every single thing.
There you
really
go.
good.
There you go. Done. I told you it was going to be a good show. That's all we've got time for today. A massive thank you to all my guests, Drew Baker, Elizabeth Haigh, Paul Ainsworth, and, of course, the fabulous Kimberley Walsh.
Thank you.
Right, I'll see you back here, same time next Saturday morning. Until then, take care, stay safe. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye for now.